Hey, Vancy. How are you? Please tell me you can hear my voice because I don't know how strong it's going to be tonight. The hot flashes are back. Ugh. How are you? Okay, we'll see if I can do this. I don't know. I'm not going to read. I'm going to read one chapter. That's all I got in me is one chapter. So I just don't know what chapter the girls want me to read. Mm, 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 mm. I'm tired. Better, but I'm tired. And I'm hot, I'm cold, I'm hot, I'm cold. There's no fever. It's just like a hot flash. But it's all right here. Mm. I do feel a lot better though. I really do. It's just, oh, so just tired. I know. Hey, Ori. Ori, I'm gonna read one chapter tonight. So you girls pick out what chapter you want me to read. Mwah. My hands swelled up so bad and stuff. I even had to take my rings and stuff off. Hey, Pebbles. How are you, darling? Hey, Pebbles. I'm only going to read one chapter tonight. I'm assuming Nina told you I've been fighting this crap, this head stuff. And I don't know how long my voice is going to hold out. So, what chapter do you want me to read tonight? If I got to read one chapter, what chapter's best? Oh, I'm sounding real good now. I didn't sound good earlier in the week. Yeah, I'm sounding a lot better than I did earlier in the week. And I haven't done anything but just, we didn't even cook dinner today. We bought a honey baked ham. He went and picked that up Tuesday. And I threw some canned biscuits in the oven this morning, and we had biscuits and ham for lunch. I mean, for breakfast, and then we just kind of picked at the ham all day, made sandwiches or whatever. We didn't even do the whole thing, whole dinner. Okay, I'll do chapter 2 then. The chapters are pretty long, so it's not like I'm jipping or anything. It's just, can y'all hear Big Daddy in there? Bless his heart. He's got the cough. I have a little bit of a cough, and that's what I'm afraid is going to happen if I read too much tonight. Is my cough's going to come out? But he's at the cough, and it's all drainage. It just it's crap. Just it's just all drainage. Put my nose ring back in now. Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, there she goes. Okay, chapter 2. Y'all ready? It's called Coaching Rayna by Pebbles Lacasse. Oh, okay. Oh, and I gotta wear glasses with this because this PDF is tiny. Okay. Rayna, chapter 2. It's as if my feet have a mind of their own. No matter how hard I try to slow my pace, they move quicker than I'd like them to. Before I know it, I'm inside his house and halfway down the 7 steps, unsure of what I'm going to find once I get to the bottom. Will he still be wearing his shorts? What will I do if he's naked? I stop with 2 steps to go and take a calming deep breath, hoping to erase the terrified expression from my face. He's wearing a clean pair of shorts, and I smell the soft scent of cologne. He leans against the back of a black leather sofa, which sits in the middle of the room, and offers me a glass of wine. It wasn't all that long ago that I sat on it while we chatted. The girlfriend he had back then sneered at me the whole time, making me feel very unwelcomed. I'm standing here braless, knowing that he will probably touch me in ways the woman he's dating now would definitely disapprove of. I'd love to record this moment and shove it in her bitchy face. What does he see in her? He extends his arm further, expecting me to take it, but I can't get my planted feet to move. Strange how a moment ago, I couldn't get them to halt. Betrayers, that's what they are. Coach slowly stands and walks toward me, handing me the glass. I take it and take a gulp while his eyes burn into mine with volcanic heat. Although it's cold in his house, I'm boiling hot, and my womanhood is about to burst into flames. I sip from the glass once more and then cast my gaze to his well formed pectoral muscles. His tiny nipples jut out from the base of them. His chest cavity expands and contracts slowly as he breathes the air between us. I feel like I'm gasping as if he's consuming all the oxygen in the room, leaving me breathless. I set back another gulp of wine before he takes the glass from me, leaning toward me to set it on the table behind me. His steaming chest touches my arm and I shiver. Instead of him pulling away, his face hovers next to my neck. His lips almost touch my skin. His caressing breath raises tiny bumps that seem to spread throughout every cell in my body. I shake violently, eagerly waiting for a solid touch to confirm that this isn't just another daydream and I'm soon to awaken. Can y'all hear me okay? I know I'm not that loud, but he whispers, I want to taste your skin, kiss your sexy mouth, and fuck you hard the way you deserve to be fucked. The instant his mouth presses under my ear, my legs waver. He wraps his powerful arms around my waist, taking my entire weight as if I were light as a feather. I nearly faint when his hand cups my ass cheek, pulling my groin against his concealed, erect penis. Oh God, he's huge. I always imagined it would be, but figured reality would prove otherwise. Coach lifts me up and presses his lips hard to mine. His tongue digs into my feet. I'm making my own story up, y'all. Oh my gosh. It's the meds. Coach lifts me up and presses his lips hard to mine. His tongue digs into my mouth, exploring every inch. My mind whirls as our first kiss burns into my memory. I never want to forget how sweet his mouth tastes or how passionately he's kissing me. I wrap my legs around his waist and my arms around his neck. His fingers weave into the My fingers weave into his thick black hair. I want to be as close to him as I can. If this is a dream, don't let me wake from it. He carries me to the sofa, his lips locked on mine. I remain wrapped tightly around him as he lowers us, pressing me into the cushion while some of his weight. He's so solid and heavy that I'm pinned and could not get out from beneath him if I wanted to, which I absolutely do not. I'm enjoying that he has me under his control. I can pretend that I have no way of escaping his desires, thus not being responsible for my actions. But why deny the truth? I absolutely want him. He takes both my wrists in one of his massive hands and holds them together above my head, further restricting my movement and taking away whatever control I thought I still had. A wave of panic tears through me. Will he let me go if someone walks in? Would he stop if I change my mind? As if he can read my thoughts, his face pulls back and seems to soften. If you want this to stop, say red, and it stops. Do you understand? I nod, not knowing why I can't simply tell him to stop. He demands, "Tell me tell me you understand." I understand, but why? My whisper evaporates. I breathe heavily, knowing I'm about to give in to his sexual prowess. He explains, "Red stops everything. If you tell me to stop, I won't. Do you understand?" I nod, still not understanding why stop won't make him stop. Our eyes remain holding one another's gaze while his hand glides up my thigh, lifting my dress up as it travels. When his hand is between my upper thighs, nearly touching my panties, he urges my legs further apart. Only my damp panties separate the most sensitive part of my body from his rough exterior. The instant his thigh presses firmly against my damp panties, I gasp. Lena doesn't have a red or yellow. He pulls at my other thigh until my legs spread wide, but he doesn't lean down against me. Nina's got every shade of green in the rainbow. The color wheel. His body hovers just above mine. Coach's deep growl seems to vibrate my chest as he kisses down my neck, his free hand squeezing my breast through the thin fabric of my dress. He pinches my nipple until I wince. I yank my wrists free and grab his bicep. What the hell? That hurt. In one swift movement, he's up on his knees, each of my wrists in his hands, and he sits me up. He tucks my arms behind my lower back and then pushes me back down, pitting them between me and the sofa. What is he doing? I try to pull them free because it feels awkward and confining. He stops moving and holds my shoulder still. His eyes burn into mine. Stay, he commands abruptly. His voice is deep and threatening. His breath catches in my throat. Fear ripples through me, but only for an instant. I decide to play along and remain in this position to see where he's going to take it. He removes his hands from my shoulders, giving me this choice to stay put or pull them free. I don't move, not yet. I'm curious. Coach's mouth covers the gusset of my damp, silky panties, instantly soothing away my concerns. His moans match mine as his teeth nip at my pussy lips through the thin fabric while biting and tugging on my panties with purpose. His fingers slip beneath the thin material, brushing against my excited clitoris, and it twitches appreciatively. He tugs quickly, tearing the crotch of my panties in two, freeing my womanhood from his mouth to ravish. I glance down to see why he's not kissing my pussy, only to see him staring at me. Do you want me to Do you want me to eat your cunt? I simply nod excitedly. Tell me. I want you to lick me. I reply in barely a whisper, my cheeks flushing in uncharacteristic boldness. I've never been a verbal lover. See, I don't get that. I really don't get that. Why would you? I don't. I'm so verbal about most everything that it just really doesn't matter to me, I guess. Tell me you want me to eat your cunt, he insists, and then blows cool air on my clit. I can't say that word. It's absolutely too vulgar. His eyes remain focused on mine, but he isn't touching me. His mouth is an inch away, and his breath now heating me to near volcanic temperatures. I'm going to scream soon. I can't remember a time I have ever wanted anything this desperately. He leans back on his knees, looking down at me disappointed. Tell me what you want, Rayna. Nervously, I say, I can't say that word. I feel awkward like I'm being put on the spot. Cunt? He asked with a grimace. I nod, biting my lips between my teeth. Say it, Rayna. Say the fucking word. It's only 4 letters. I promise the world will not cave in around you. Please, I don't want to. I whisper, suddenly feeling my mouth is dry. Insignificant. He breathes. All right, y'all. I don't normally chew gum and read at the same time, but I'm gonna get something in my mouth to keep it moist. Yeah, I said moist. Okay. He leans forward, uncharacteristically brushing a lock of hair from my cheek. Does he have a softer side? I'm sexually dominant, brutal at times. When I play hard. I don't mess around with my pleasure. If you want to expand your mind, I'll be happy to take you into my world. But you have to want to do the things I tell you to without questioning my motives. I'll explain you I'll expect you to do things that might be uncomfortable. All I'm asking right now is that you say the word cunt. Do it now, or I'm going to ask you to leave and not come back until you're ready to do as I ask. My mind is whirling, unable to decide. If I stay, he could do things to me that scare me. If I leave, I'll always wonder what he means by taking me into his world. Take a chance, Rayna. What do you have to lose? You are really bossy, I sharply reply, not enjoying that I'm given an ultimatum. So either I say the disgusting word or I go home and you're done with me. Yes. He hasn't moved, still kneeling and staring at me as if reading my chaotic thoughts. He's patiently waiting for me to decide. It's only a word and nobody is within earshot to hear you say it other than me. The best I can manage is to whisper, cunt. I feel my face flushing red, my shame becoming all too obvious. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Try again, louder this time. Even though he is calm and absolute, I watch the corners of his lips lift, alerting me to the pleasure he's getting from my mortification. I nearly yell, Cunt, are you happy now? I swallow hard, trying to keep my emotions held back. I do not want to cry. I hate confrontation. My anxiety spikes and tears typically spill. You tell me. He replaces his he replies as he grabs his erect cock through the fabric of his cotton shorts, proving the excitement my humiliation brings him. His seductive smile makes my tummy flutter. I want him even more now, which confuses me. Why wouldn't I get up and leave, stomping my feet? Instead, my body proves its need for his touch. I think I'm more aroused than I have ever been. Could it be from saying that awful word or because I did something I never do? He lowers his face to my smoldering pussy, sucking my clit between his teeth and flicking it gingerly with the tip of his tongue. Holy hell. The world falls apart around me. I moan and so loudly that it echoes throughout the room. His barely audible devilish chuckle gently whispers into my ear. I'm spellbound. Take me, devil man. He started off worshiping my swelling clitoris, but now Coach teases me with his scarce flicking. He's enjoying how my body bucks in frustration. Your cunt tastes so sweet. Your juices are thick and slick, perfectly preparing for my meaty cock. I want to drink you in. His lips press a full kiss onto my pussy. His hips lift in appreciation. With a deep, assertive voice, he demands, beg me to make you come. He wants me to talk nasty again. No, I can't do this. It's not in my nature. Besides, I'm not ready to come yet. Feeling ignored, he covers my clit with his open mouth, sucking hard while stroking his tongue up and down over my aching button. He pushes two of his fat fingers deep inside me with one quick thrust. I cry out as his digits push completely in, his knuckles pressing firmly against my labia. Coach stays focused on one particularly sensitive spot inside of me. Each time his fingertips thrust, the sensations his tongue generously provides intensifies. He's not fucking at a steady pace, but keeping it torturously sporadic, and I never know when he's going to lick my clit or leave me craving it. He's making me come apart. His He lifts his mouth long enough to repeat his demand. Ask me, Rayna. I look down at his sexy, dangerous face as he mashes it against me. The world fades around me, and my focus aimed at my pleasure button. I'm almost there. He lifts his face, and I know he's going to ask me again. I'll do just about anything to keep this going. I scream, please let me come. Come, Rayna. His calm, deep voice sounds so far away. He doesn't let up as my pussy clenches around his fingers. A violent orgasm erupts from deep inside of my soul. It is finally free to ripple throughout my body, setting fire to every cell of my being. I scream as my mind slowly falls into blackness, but his mouth and fingers don't let up for a second. My body bounces and jerks under the command of his tongue. Coach kneels up quickly, unbuttoning his shorts and yanking them down his thighs and tucking them between his knees and the sofa cushion. He's impressive. Rock hard prick juts straight out from his body. It's glorious. I don't think you need any coaching. Thank you for getting that, Pebbles. I'm glad somebody got that. It's glorious. He's so big. He is probably the most perfect erection I've ever seen. A tiny gleam of pre cum glistens at the tip, catching my eye. His teeth tear at a condom package, revealing the hidden sheath inside. He rolls it over his weapon with the skill of a man who's done it a million times. He leans forward, touching the fat tip against my slit. He stops. Tell me you want me to fuck you, he demands, his excitement revealed in his voice. When I pause, he tilts his head and glares at me. Yes, please fuck me, I reply with a loud, quivering voice. In one smooth movement, he's buried deep inside of my body. The shock of its ripples through me. The shock of it ripples through me. I gasped, nearly coming from the sudden invasion. He's spreading my walls wider than any man ever has. I'm dying, and it don't have anything to do with the book, y'all. um, I open my eyes when he doesn't move. He's looking down at me. A dark, trance like expression has enveloped his face. He looks like a testosterone filled, emotionless machine ready to fuck me harder than I've ever been before. And I want him. He doesn't disappoint me when his hips lift, slamming back down into me, shoving himself even deeper inside. The initial fullness shocks me, and my hands spring free from behind my back, immediately slapping his ribs. He doesn't even flinch at my weak attempt to make him ease up. He continues to pound into me again and again. The pain quickly becomes something entirely wonderful. Each time the tip of his prick pounds my cervix, my body weakens a little more. I want him even deeper if it's at all possible. My fingernails dig into his arms, which brace his weight on either side of my chest. I slide up the cushion each time he crashes into me. His massive hands clutch my hips, lifting my lower half off the cushion and pulling me with him as he kneels back. He flashes me a crooked grin that could signify a fist fight to another man with a quick temper. I'm quickly learning that he loves his dominance and the fear it creates in others. He pushes his prick deep into me and holds me still. Only the rapid swelling and shrinking of his chest prevents him from looking like he's made of stone, a perfect sculptured statue for my eyes to soak up and bum into my and burn into my memory. Tell me tell me to fuck you hard and fast. Tell me you're hungry, little cunt wants to come on my throbbing cock. Coach isn't flicking around. I know what I know now that when he insists I say something, I better say it. Otherwise, the pleasure stops. I wonder if he's this persistent with his gym clients and if they appreciate it or hate him for it. I want to sample more of what he's offering, and I'll do almost anything to make that happen. I yell, ensuring he'll hear every word. Fuck me hard and fast until my starving cunt comes on your fucking cock. Wow, I sound like a loose tongued whore. An evilness burns from behind his eyes that fills me with a sudden unease. His expression softens as he studies my fearful eyes. When you come, I want you to thank me. Do you understand? If you don't, I will stop. His gently spoken words ensure that he is not a vicious beast intending to hurt me, but a man with an intensive need to pleasure me. My anxious fear has me undeniably lusting for him. I understand, I say breathlessly, hoping he'll quit talking and get back to fucking me. He nearly sings. You're a good little slut and you deserve to come. The violent fucking ensues and doesn't let up. I don't even care that he called me a slut. The pounding is totally worth the humiliation of the insult. I know I'm not a slut, so it doesn't faze me. He rams me like a wild man, pounding into me with impossible speed and force. The thudding against my body forces the air from my lungs in rapid succession. I can barely think. My body is his toy to take as he will. My mind no longer able to make intelligent, responsible decisions. An orgasm locks every muscle in a seizure of painful pleasure I hope never to recover from. Screams pour out of me as wave after wave of heightened climax shreds through me, rendering me stiff and useless. I open my eyes to make sure a man is fucking me and not the devil, but I can't be sure. Coach still fucks me hard while watching me with black pools surrounding by skin so red it's nearly purple. His eyebrows furrow. Soulless growls escape from deep in his massive chest as if the devil himself is tearing into me. Perhaps he is. His eyes widen and glare, and that's when I remember his instruction. Thank you. Coach stands quickly, grabbing me by my arms and yanking me to my feet. My weak knees give out and I nearly fall, but he scoops me up and I weigh nothing more than a bag of potatoes. He doesn't even grunt like I do when I pick up a grocery bag off the floor. He sprints to the back sofa and then sets me down onto my feet, spinning me until I'm facing away from him. His huge hand grabs the back of my neck firmly, bending me forward until I'm at a 90-degree angle over the back of the sofa. He gently but assertively kicks my feet apart. His thick, powerful spread thighs press against my much smaller ones, pinning me to the back of the sofa, and the throbbing prick buries deep into me again. Oh fuck, I didn't think it was possible, but he's reaching so much deeper inside of me in this position. I can't even cry out to beg him to go easier, but do I really want to if I could? It hurt at first when he entered me on the couch, but my body quickly adjusted and I will this time too. I've never been this full and overwhelmed by anyone in my entire life. I'm surprised to realize that I really like not having any say in what he does to me. I trust him in that he said he'll stop if I say red, and that brings me comfort. With one hand on my hip and another on the back of my neck, he fucks me like it's the last time he will ever fuck a woman. The power behind his muscular body has me flopping around like a rag doll. If he wasn't holding my neck, I might get whiplash. The skin on my body feels like loose clothing as it ripples with each hard thud. Even the skin on my cheeks and lips bounce, and I don't have a shred of decency left in me at the point to care what I look like. I come hard. My wetness trickles down my parted inner thighs. He releases my neck, only to grab a wad of my hair, pulling me back until his mouth is next to my ear. My scalp hurts, but I'm still coming, so I don't give a shit what he's doing to me as long as he doesn't stop. My pussy spasms around his thickness. He holds deep inside me. I relish the pause and gather my senses. His rapid, heated breath bounces off my ear. The only other sound is from my vigorously pounding heart, rushing blood through my veins. Say thank you, sir, he whispers next to my ear as shivers continue to ripple through. What? My mind is still foggy from the violent fucking. Say thank you. Since you forgot again, you will start calling me sir to acknowledge my sexual dominance over you. I don't like that. My voice sounds fragile and timid through panted breaths. Then you should have remembered to thank me, he whispers in a growl. Now, thank me properly or we're done. To get him to shut up and bring me back to that level of euphoria, I comply with his demands. Thank you for the incredible orgasm, sir. May I have another? Yes, I'm being a smartass, but what's he going to do about it? Duh. He won't throw me out. He hasn't come yet, and I'm sure he'll want to accomplish that before he tosses me aside. His hand comes down on my ass with a thunderous clap. My ears ring and my eyes fly open. I wail. I pant as the heat from his hand singes my flesh, no doubt imprinting a giant hand shaped welt on my flesh. Before I can complain, he fucks me even quicker and harder than he had been, which is a tremendous feat. I didn't think he could be more intense, but I thought wrong. Within seconds, I'm coming so hard that my body desperately wants to fuck back against him, but he's too powerful for me to compete with. He has the control, and I am simply along for the ride. And what a ride it is. Before I can finish thanking him, I'm coming again and again. A loud, beastly growl wrenches from Coach's throat, lasting longer than any breath I could manage right now. His prick swells, stretching my inner walls and forcing me into one final vicious orgasm. His muscles jerk, jolting his massive body. A complete stillness overcomes him, and my hair slips from his grasp. A long, quiet exhale seeps from his very core as if he has satiated his devil. I remain flopped over the back of the sofa, gasping for breath while his pelvis still pressed against me. I am limp, like an overcooked spaghetti noodle. He groans softly, leaning forward to kiss my back a dozen times before resting his forehead on it. His withering prick still lives inside of me. He suddenly pulls away, his prick sliding out of my well used vagina. I attempt to lift my chest, but I'm too tired. With more gentleness than I thought he had in him, he grips my shoulders, raising me up and turning me to face him. He pulls me against his sweaty chest and wraps his massive arms around my shoulders. Tenderly, he kisses the top of my head. It's a loving gesture that seems out of character from the man I knew a moment ago. You did well. He whispers compliments. He whisper compliments me while his body rocks me safely back and forth. What? I asked, not sure why he thinks I did well when I did nothing to contribute, not even follow his simple verbal request. You learned to appease my request, even though you had an attitude. Also, you didn't beg for mercy. He seems proud of me. I thoroughly enjoyed that. So why would I beg for mercy? I didn't know that was even an option. Coach scolds. The option was always there. You accepted whatever I was doing to you. Do you remember when we first started? I told you to say red if you wanted to stop. I nod against his chest. You didn't use the word. You surprised me, is all. I should go. My kids will wonder where I walked off. The last thing I need is for them to report me as missing person. He chuckles as he releases me from his hold. He walks around the couch to get a tissue to wrap the condom in. His glistening muscles hypnotize me as he performs the simplest task of pulling his shorts back on. The man is a glorious mountain. Now that I've seen him totally naked, I think he's even bigger than I had thought he was, or maybe that's the perception I have of him because of how he just overpowered me. He fucks like an angry man with something to prove. I wonder what his reasoning is for needing to have that much control. Is he like this with everyone he has ever fucked, or just the meek people such as myself? Can I ask you something? I utter as he hands me a small towel. I watch him pat his forehead and chest with another towel while focusing his attention on me. You can ask me anything. I clear my throat before beginning my interrogation. Why were you so rough with me? Coach seemed concerned. Did I hurt you? No, I reply quickly, easing the tension from his expression. I enjoy I enjoy a good hard fuck. As you can tell, I like control and dominance. The thought of making love bores me, and before you ask, there is no deep rooted reason behind this compulsion of mine. I simply prefer sex this way. I cross my arms after handing him the towel. Do you ever make love? Coach tilts his head, furrowing his brows, and tells me an affirmative no. He tosses the towels through an open door. Why not? He sharply responds. Why would I? I shrug, not really knowing how to answer the question. I don't know. I don't know. You love Alyssa, right? So do you two ever get romantic with each other? I mean, how do you show her that you love her? She knows exactly how I feel about her. I nod, waiting for him to elaborate, but he doesn't. You do love her, right? If my calculations are correct, you've been dating for nearly a year. I care about her well being, sure. Making love is for people in love, and I'm not in love with her. He picks up the glasses of wine and hands one to me. You're not in love with her? That would explain why there's no ring on her finger. I say with a smile, hoping I'm not overstepping. He stares at me, his expression beginning to look intense once again. He no longer has the calmness in his voice, taking me off guard.
I will not marry her.
He's so sure of his statement. I can't say I've ever been that sure of anything in my entire life. When I married my ex-husband, I convinced myself that he was the best I could ever hope to have in a life partner. But I wasn't sure I loved him with all of my being. He turned out to be a son of a bitch who spent his time chasing loose women and not caring for his wife and children like he should have been. The man only cared about one thing, his dick. In this day, to this day, I sneer when I see him with his arms around his chosen tart of the month. When our kids had court ordered sleepover visitations, which he rarely followed through on, I didn't know who would stay with them while he was out doing God knows what with God knows who. I think most of the girls enjoy playing housewife for a while, but when shit gets too real, they always leave him. If you've been with her for this long already and you're sure you will not marry her, why not let her go on with her life so she could find someone who wants to marry her? I mean, if that's what she's looking for.
Rayna, she knows I'm not the marrying kind. She is free to find another if she chooses to. I'm not holding on to her. The two of us enjoy one another's company. We are plus ones to special occasions, and we have a well matched sexual rhythm between us. But that's it.
Yeah, but I want to continue questioning him about this, but the look he gives me tells me to leave it for another time. I should go.
Thank you for coming over. We should do this again soon if you're still curious.
I clear my throat, ready to ask him what there is still, what is to still be curious about, but I decide not to. I gulp from the wine glass and set it on the table, and then turn to walk toward the stairs. I don't even get to the first step when he grabs my arm, spinning me around to face him. The warm palm of his hand cradles my neck in shocking tenderness, with shocking tenderness. His eyes look down into mine for the first time. I notice the flecks of green in his eyes that break up the intensity of the brown. They don't seem so dark and intimidating at the moment. How can how can these pretty eyes of his reveal that much petulance and yet seem to have an overflowing of kindness hidden within them? Coach delicately touches his lips to mine, stirring the heat within me. Before the fire burns out of control, he sets me free and leads me by the hand up the stairs to the front door. He twists the handle and pulls it open, slapping me lightly on the ass as I take my first step outside. I spin around and smile, blushing hotly as I recall the pain from the other slap he gave me while he fucked me, and how my body surprised me by reacting in an orgasmic explosion because of it. The moment I walk through my front door, I immediately head to the bathroom to check my appearance. I can almost guarantee that I look like I've been repeatedly bounced off of a fleshy brick wall after burying my torn panties deep in the trash bin. I burst into a laughter that echoes off the bathroom walls. I immediately cover my mouth to muffle the sound. I don't need my kids asking why I'm so happy. Oh, what an interesting afternoon this has been. All right, y'all. That's all I got in me. That was one chapter. I'm glad I just picked one chapter. All right, Nina, tell them all about it. It is her birthday month, right? So she probably does need him. Unless he's a doctor or a mortician or something, don't send him my way. I don't have it in me. Um, there's the cover, y'all. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm just surprised I didn't start coughing in the middle of all of it. Alrighty. So tomorrow night, which is Friday night, I'm going to be reading um, Summer Lane's some Mercy something. Mm, Beyond Mercy. And then Sunday at 1 o'clock, I'll be reading Autumn Key's book, and I don't even know what the name of that one is, so my apologies. Um, Alrighty. Well, yes. Hmm, that was weird. Alright. I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna go chill out, rest before I go to bed. Something. I don't know. I'm gonna go get some more water. Alright. Love you, girls. Love you, Teddy. You guys have a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend, and I will see you tomorrow night. Alrighty. Happy reading.